You've worked hard and saved diligently and built a portfolio worth $2.3 million. On paper, it looks like you should be able to retire tomorrow. But here's the thing I see all the time. Even with what most people call a dream number, you still feel hesitant. Maybe it's the fear of running out of money. Maybe it's the uncertainty about how to turn those savings into a steady income. Or maybe it's because retirement just isn't a financial decision. The truth is, crossing over from saving to spending is not without pain. Without the right plan in place, even a multi-million-dollar portfolio can leave you feeling like you're standing on shaky ground. So why is it that you've hit your number but still can't bring yourself to retire? And more importantly, how do you fix it? I'm Andrew Palomo, CFP and owner of Pillar Financial. What we see a lot is people that don't ask the right questions. The right questions we'll bring out in a minute. On this channel, I share clear, practical strategies to help you work towards reducing taxes, preserving your wealth, and retiring on your terms. If that sounds helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below with your retirement questions. Now, I will share 3 reasons why having $2.3 million may not feel like enough to retire and what you can do to move forward with confidence. Let's dive right in. Number 1, it's not just about the number. On the surface, $2.3 million sounds like plenty, and for many people it is. But if you spend $2.3 million a year, it's not as much. See any Google search on a professional athlete or actor who has spent more than they've made. Retirement readiness isn't just about how much you've saved, it's about how you're going to use that money to create a sustainable, dependable income for the rest of your life. Here's what I often see in my practice. An example client comes in with $2 million in early 60s. They've assumed that this amount alone would give them the green light to retire. But when we looked closer, most of the wealth was tied up in tax-deferred accounts, 401ks, IRAs, and they hadn't really realized that every withdrawal would be taxed as ordinary income. Between the required minimum distributions, Social Security benefits, possibly even making Social Security benefits at their maximum taxable level, and other income sources, they were actually on track to push themselves into a higher tax bracket, potentially paying more in taxes during their retirement than they did while working. That is not a crazy statement, and that does happen. On top of that, the portfolio wasn't really structured to provide a steady, predictable income. And without a strategy, they rightly worried about withdrawing too much during a market downturn and depleting their savings early. This is why simply looking at the size of the portfolio can be misleading. A big number isn't enough if you do not know how to turn it into a reliable monthly paycheck that can support you for 30 years or more, which is the goal, by the way. This is where a retirement income plan comes in, helping you understand how your existing wealth and income sources can work for you and support your lifestyle without being exposed to hidden risks. Number 2, the spending confidence gap. Even with a large portfolio, one of the biggest challenges for new retirees is moving from a saving mindset to a spending mindset. For 30 or 40 years, some cases more, you've been conditioned to accumulate wealth, saving and saving and saving, investing, saving, watching the accounts grow. Now, boom, here comes one day and we're going to flip the script. We're going to put our hands inside your brain and turn your brain completely around backwards. This shift creates anxiety, even for people with millions of dollars. I hear questions like, how much can I safely withdraw every year without running out? What happens if there's a major market drop right after I retire? What if I face unexpected medical expenses, need long-term care? What happens in those situations? Another example, we have someone with $3 million but confess that they fell paralyzed when it came to spending. They'd spend their entire life building up their accounts and couldn't imagine drawing them down. The solution? Build a customized withdrawal strategy, factoring in Social Security timing, pension income, if any, tax-efficient account withdrawals, and setting aside reserves for healthcare needs. Once they could see all of the accounts working together on paper, knowing which account would be drawn on for what, gave them the confidence that their money would last, even through market ups and downs. The anxiety lifts, and now you can give yourself permission to retire and enjoy the wealth that you've built. If you're unsure how much you can safely spend, or if the thought of drawing down your savings makes you uneasy, this is a clear sign that you're not ready to retire yet. The good news is this is fixable with a plan. And that's what we can't stress enough. Alrighty. Number 3, you haven't stress tested your plan for risks. The happiest retirees aren't always those with the biggest portfolios. They're the ones who have asked what could go wrong and built a plan to address it. Sound familiar? Building the plan. Think about it. What happens if the market drops 20% right after you retire? How will you cover healthcare costs if Medicare doesn't pay for everything? How are taxes going to impact your retirement accounts? How's inflation eating away at your purchasing power affect your retirement accounts? Another example client had everything figured out, but when we stress tested the plan, we uncovered several blind spots. They hadn't factored in their required minimum distributions, which would actually increase their taxable income. Let's use an example and say that age is 73, could be 74 or 75. They also hadn't considered about a spouse passing away and reducing household income with Social Security dropping off for one of the spouses. Also can increase the taxes for the surviving spouse. This is known as the widow's penalty. By identifying some risks early, you can restructure the plan, add tax diversification, choose when to pay your taxes and what tax bracket to be in, create a contingency plan for healthcare costs. This would give you the confidence that your plan would weather life's curveballs, and that peace of mind can make all the difference so you can relax and enjoy your retirement. Here's the bottom line. Having 2.3 million is an incredible accomplishment. Please don't take anything that we don't think that. But if you feel like you can't retire, the issue isn't your portfolio. It's really confidence, because you know you have missing pieces in your plan. Retirement isn't about chasing a bigger number. It's about knowing what that bigger number will do, and will it support the life you want through market swings, rising healthcare costs, and unexpected events, which is the only thing we all know happens all the time. This is where thoughtful planning will make all the difference. If you're approaching retirement and want to build a strategy that gives you clarity, confidence, and control, let's talk. Click the link in the description below to schedule a conversation, because you worked hard to build your wealth. Now it's time to make sure that wealth works for you.